DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, WorkOnYourGameUniversity.com. Topic of this video is change everything. Yes, change everything. And why am I telling you this? This is specifically for any of you who is looking to make some advances in your life, in your career, in whatever you have going on. My suggestion is that you change everything, as opposed to the way that most people like to think about stuff is they want to change things slowly. They want to do things one step at a time. You want to do it at a pace which is comfortable for you, which is nonsense, because it's not actually going to help you get to your goals any sooner. And we have to always, period, now new thought. We have to always understand that our decisions need to be made with respect to time. Most important consideration for every decision you make is with respect to time. I don't care what the topic is. Time is always the most important consideration, because time is the one thing you can't get back. You can get money back. You can overspend on something and make the money back. You can go cheap on something and buy something else later. You can use a bunch of energy, you can use your attention, you can use your focus, you can get those things back. If you use time recklessly, you cannot get it back. That means this is why time is the most important consideration in every decision that you make. Therefore, this is how it connects to my point of changing everything. Now, when it comes to change, there are basically three types of change in life. Also, three types of speed. They apply parallel ways. There is tactical change. Tactical change means if it takes you 10 minutes to get ready in the morning, then try to get ready in 7 minutes. So tactical is just trying to take the normal actions you're already doing and just do them more efficiently or faster or more effectively. That's tactical change. Also a form of tactical speed. How do I just move around faster than I am right now, but doing the same stuff? Strategic change or strategic speed means changing the plan of how you're doing a thing, yet you're still trying to get to the same outcome. So a strategic change would be, instead of, like, if you like to run outside, instead of running outside in the streets, you instead run on the treadmill. So you're still going to run 3 miles, you're just going to do it on the treadmill instead of doing it outside on the street. You're still doing the same thing, still the same goal, you just changed your approach to how you're doing it. That's strategic change or strategic speed. We're still trying to do the same thing, we're just using a different process or a different approach to doing the thing that I've been doing. And then the third type of change is what we call wholesale change or wholesale speed. Wholesale change or speed is when you just throw out the baby with the bathwater and let's get a whole new aim of what we're trying to achieve. Rather than trying to do it this way or even trying to do this thing, let's get a whole new thing to do and a whole new approach to do it. This is like if you saw the movie Glow with, it was based on a true story portrayal of this guy named George Jung, who basically, according to their story, introduced cocaine into the United States. And what he was doing before he started selling cocaine, he was selling marijuana. And he got arrested selling marijuana, and when he was in jail, his cellmate said, well, you got arrested selling weed because, obviously you have a dream, you want to make some money, but you were trying to sell weed. Well, how about, instead of trying to sell weed, why don't you sell cocaine? It makes a whole lot more money. It turns over a lot quicker. People get more addicted. And again, if the whole point is you're just trying to make money, well, you can make a ton more money. So technically, he kind of still had the same idea. He was trying to reach a dream, but he made a wholesale change. Instead of selling weed across the United States, he started getting cocaine from outside of the United States, infiltrating it into the United States, and it changed his whole situation. He started doing a lot of business, not even in America. He's doing business other places, again, according to the movie. That's a wholesale change. What I'm challenging you to do, if you're looking to make any advancement or progress in your life, is to use all three types of change all at the same time. What that means is, number one, you need to start moving faster, more effectively, and more efficiently. So many of you are just too damn slow to do things. And I mean that in a literal sense. You're just too slow. It's taking you 10 minutes, or it should take you 5 minutes. That is tactical speed. You do need to make that change. Number two, strategic change. Sometimes you have the right idea, but your plans just suck. You just have terrible plans. It's a terrible idea. Or maybe you didn't know it was a bad idea until you enacted the idea. And now you're seeing, okay, this plan is not really working the way I thought it would. Change the plan. Stop working on a plan that is obviously not working, and instead replace it with a plan that actually does work. This is a problem a lot of people have, is that they'll stick to doing the same thing just because you've been doing it. And you have what we call the sunk cost fallacy. You are buying into something just because you're the one who came up with it, even though it's proven to be a bad plan. You need to Judge things based on their outcomes, not based on its source, where it came from. Just because something came from you does not mean you need to stick to it. Just because it came from somebody else does not mean that you should throw it away, and vice versa. So get rid of things quickly if they're clearly not working. That's a strategic change. And then the wholesale change is maybe you're just going after the wrong goal. Maybe you just have the wrong dream. You're trying to serve these people over here who you seriously can't really help. Instead, you should try to serve these people. I'll give you an example. In my business about 4 years ago, around the time that COVID happened, I decided that I was going to narrow my niche down because I was serving a lot of different audiences, and I still got a lot of different audiences to this day. I decided that I was going to own the space of helping basketball players who wanted to play at the pro level to get careers playing overseas. I decided that was going to be my niche and my focus. I'm just going to dominate that space. Anybody who wants to play pro basketball overseas, I'm going to become the resource. Because I have books on it, I have courses on it, I've done it myself. I have a lot of these people in my audience already, so I knew I could serve them at a really high level, and I could just own that space and dominate it. And I started working on that. I worked on it for about 5 or 6 months. And then I came to a realization that given what I wanted to achieve, which included a financial goal, this was the wrong audience to serve. The reason it's the wrong audience to serve is because players who are trying to play basketball overseas don't yet have a career, meaning they're not yet making serious money in what they're doing because they're trying to get into a career. And often players who are trying to play overseas, as opposed to others who are transitioning, let's say somebody's transitioning from corporation to corporation in the industry, they made money because they've had a career. They've been working there for 20 years. Whereas a lot of players who are trying to play overseas often are just coming out of college, or they're like me, maybe they got out of school and then they worked a couple like menial jobs that don't really pay serious money, just so you could pay your bills, but at the same time not paying you serious money because you're trying to just be flexible so you can go take that career. Because usually people trying to play overseas are relatively young. They don't have a long track record of career success, therefore they haven't made a lot of money. So the problem with this idea was that I was trying to serve people who just didn't have the kind of money that I would want to charge for my services. So I stopped serving this audience. I had to make a wholesale change. Let me serve some different people. These days I work with entrepreneurs and business professionals who have resources because they already are working in their careers, and helping them with things that I talk about, stuff that I talk about here. Personal development, professional development. So I had to make a wholesale change simply because the audience that I was looking to serve just didn't have the resources to pay what I wanted to charge based on the value that I believed I was bringing to the table. So I just had to make a change because the market just wasn't there for what I wanted to do. That's a wholesale change. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the market or the people. It just means that opportunity didn't fit what I was doing. Doesn't mean I couldn't serve those people. I could still to this day if I wanted to serve that audience. I just don't want to, given my focus, given my goals, and given what I'm looking to achieve. So that's a wholesale change. The point being, I want you to use all three at the same time. Tactical change, strategic change, wholesale change. Not one at a time, not slowly, not at a pace that you're comfortable with. There's a guy named Dan Kennedy who's a marketing guy from back in the day. He talks about this thing called the phenomenon. And I borrowed his idea and did a whole episode on my show about this very thing. My show is called Work on Your Game, by the way. It comes out for free on Apple, Spotify, every day, SoundCloud. And one of the things that he talks about with the phenomenon is a whole concept that he made up. So I'm giving him credit for it. But one of the things he talks about is that you want to implement all the changes all at once, not doing one change at a time. So if you do one change at a time, it takes too long. So that's why I'm telling you, implement all the changes all at the same time. So all of you listening to this, you probably have some aspects of your life that you want to change, plural aspects, multiple things. I'm telling you, don't do one at a time. Do them all at the same time, because that gives you the best opportunity to create an influx or a tidal wave, let's say, of the type of change that you want in your life to occur, rather than these stair-step incremental marginal changes, which usually is not enough to really make a big difference in people's lives anyway. And I think most of you want to make a big difference, not a small one. So with that said, workonyourgameuniversity.com. You want to work with me directly, have me as your direct coach. That's where it happens. That link down below in the description. And I ain't really got to say too much more about it. Mindset, strategy, systems, accountability, having me as your direct coach. I mean, you're watching this video, you got a pretty good feel for who I am, what I'm about. Watch a few more if you need to, then go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.